Firing your employees to install AI is one of the most expensive decisions a company can make right now, and a new study just confirmed that most of them already made it. Firms that cut headcount specifically because of automation aren't seeing the financial returns they promised shareholders. The balance sheets didn't cooperate. The upward curves flattened. And the AI, quietly, needed a lot more help than anyone put in the pitch deck. The logic seemed airtight. Humans are expensive. They take vacation, ask for raises, and occasionally send passive-aggressive emails at 11 p.m. AI works at 3 a.m. on Christmas, never complains, and costs a flat monthly fee. So thousands of companies, from customer service to coding, ran the numbers, saw a clean substitution, and pulled the trigger on layoffs. On paper, the math was beautiful. In practice, the math was a different story. Researchers found that cost savings failed to materialize at scale. Revenue didn't climb. Profit margins didn't spike. The ROI executives presented to shareholders, the one with the satisfying upward curve, mostly just didn't show up. It's a bit like training a parrot to manage your inbox and then being surprised when it replies pretty bird to a legal notice. Here's what the projections missed: invisible infrastructure. Every dismissed worker carried institutional knowledge, judgment calls, and the ability to notice when something was subtly wrong. AI doesn't inherit any of that. The savings from the layoff get consumed by new costs: engineers maintaining prompts, supervisors catching errors, legal review when the chatbot promises something undeliverable. The money moved. It didn't disappear. Think of it like replacing a veteran chef with a sous vide machine. The machine is precise, tireless, and technically correct. But someone still has to decide what's on the menu, season the dish, and notice when the customer wanted medium rare, not medium. The machine didn't eliminate the chef problem, it just moved it upstream, and made it harder to see. This isn't the first time automation promised simple savings and delivered something messy. When ATMs arrived, economists predicted the end of bank tellers. Instead, teller employment grew for 20 years, because ATMs made branches cheaper to run, so banks opened more of them, which needed more tellers. Automation and employment don't have a simple inverse relationship. They have a complicated one that keeps getting modeled as if it were simple. What actually generates returns is deploying AI alongside workers to amplify output, not replacing them. Companies that kept their teams and layered in AI tools saw real productivity gains. Companies that fired their teams and handed the work to AI mostly saw a slow quality collapse that took 18 months to show up in customer data. That's long enough to survive an earnings call. Long enough, in some cases, to have already collected a bonus. The firms seeing real gains aren't the ones that cut the most headcount. They're the ones that figured out what humans are specifically bad at: volume, consistency, speed, and let AI handle those parts, while doubling down on what humans are specifically good at: judgment, novelty, and knowing when the answer the algorithm gave you is technically correct and deeply wrong. The companies still waiting for returns from their layoffs are waiting for math that was never going to work. Strip away the noise and three things remain: the savings were real on paper and illusory in practice, the hidden costs were always there, they just changed names, and the companies that actually won didn't substitute AI for humans, they stacked AI on top of humans and amplified what came out. Every firm still waiting for returns is waiting for math that required the institutional knowledge they fired to function. What got sold as a clean substitution was always a reorganization with extra steps. The pitch deck said replace. The balance sheet said it depends, and it always depended on the people who were already gone. What strikes us isn't that the returns failed to show up, it's that the structure made it almost rational to not notice. The bonus cleared before the quality collapse reached the customer data. The earnings call passed before the invisible costs compounded. Nobody had to lie. The incentives just pointed somewhere 18 months shorter than the truth. We don't think these executives were uniquely cynical. We think the system keeps producing this exact move because nothing in the reward structure makes it costly fast enough. Which leaves us with a question we don't have a clean answer to: if you could design a company where that trade-off wasn't worth making, what would you have to change first, the incentives, the timeline, or who gets to sit in the room when the math gets built?